Well, greetings and salutations. It's another allotment video. Just see what I'm up to on the allotment on the Rickvanman channel.
Hey guys, this is Rick. I hope everyone's having a great day. Yes, that really wasn't me.
Can you just be a bit quiet? There's some of us trying to do a bit of gardening. Oh dear.
I'm terribly sorry, old chap. You may of course recognise this is Sean from the ThehortchannelTV.
It is.
I got that right, didn't I?
Yeah,
yes, I wasn't going to get that right. So, and Sean's come all the way down from Crystal Palace to have a look around the allotment and give me a few tips.
Tips and tricks.
And because this man actually knows what he's talking about, whereas I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. And you may see I've got the posh mic with me today because I just want to make sure we got some decent sound on this one because my last video was a disaster.
So we've got some plants to go in as well.
We've got some plants. Yeah, Sean bought me some plants down. What have we got here?
A tomatillo.
A tomatillo.
Yeah, which is a bit. I think it's a bit like a tomato.
Right.
And this one I can't remember.
Okay.
So I'll have to send you an email. Oh, and we've also got some potato slips.
Excellent.
Which were some spare ones from Kai, which she put in last week. So
potato slips are like sweet potatoes, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to put those in.
And apparently
today.
they grow better if you have them indoors. So I'm expecting
Really? We'll
great
put them in
things.
there. Well, we've got an empty bed there that's ready for planting. Do you reckon that'll be deep enough?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I've got some compost. I can
Right.
top it up. Actually, I've got some compost here for my potatoes. I can lump that over there.
Okay. We can have a quick look at the potatoes as well because they're ready to.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do it.
Right.
Right then. Let's have a look at some of these potatoes. I'm going to put. Do you want some gloves? I've got some.
I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah. Get the hands in. Get them dirty.
Right. Everything here is
Yeah.
already harvested. This is empty.
You
So
did that the other week.
I did that the other day. That's right. So everything from there is potatoes. So let's
Should we have a look at these ones?
have a little rummage around. Any
Market.
empty soil, bring it over here, and we'll dump that in. In fact, should I go and get a spade, and I can dump? Oh, I'll do it in a minute.
So when did you put these in?
These went in. I don't know. I have to check back on my videos, but it wasn't too long ago. I think it's just generally when everybody else was starting to plant their potatoes.
Oh, you've got quite a few here. I can feel them. Look at them. I wouldn't say shoals of potatoes, but there's a feed there.
I quite like this. Having someone do your work for you. You can come around here anytime you want, sure. But yeah, you should be able to get tomatoes. This is where we were talking about. We were talking about this earlier. We keep calling things the wrong names, but you should be able to get potatoes right the way to the plastic bottom.
Right.
So,
and are you going to do them in these again for next year?
well, I think so, because it was incredibly easy to maintain them and to grow them, and yeah, I didn't have any problems or any reason to complain about growing them in these beds. So I'm quite happy to grow them again next year. And obviously, being in the polytunnel, they've had the advantage of coming out quite early. I know some of the other plots are still, the plants are still, quite raw.
I was just about to say, I think we're about
Actually,
6 weeks behind.
Let's leave a
Do you
few
wanna
left
stop
in there, yeah, because I'll just be harvesting these as I go.
Yeah, I think we're about 6 weeks behind from everybody else.
Right.
Because even with your site down here, you're about 4 weeks ahead of us.
Really?
Yeah.
That's because we're not any further south. We're just literally. I mean, you got London. We're literally to the left of London. We're on the same longitude or latitude.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Latitude, I think.
But I do think you've highlighted this year that a polytunnel could be the future for everybody, especially the way that the weather's going.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I must admit, everything I've sort of tried growing here has done really well. So I definitely think getting a polytunnel was a good move.
That's beautiful.
So that's nice soil, isn't it? I was just about to point the mic at it. I'm not used to holding a mic.
Right. Well, we'll keep them for the pot then for later.
Okay. Sounds like
what
fun.
are we doing now?
Right. I think we need to. I was going to say you need to. I think what we need to do is scoop that soil in there, top it up, and then we can have a go at planting some of these slips.
Okay, potato slips.
Okay, I'm going to go and get a shovel.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so we figured out the mic. We've just dug it in the ground. Right, I'm going to...
Okay.
Try not to chop your fingers off.
I'll keep an eye out for any more
A
potatoes.
spud. So
you're pulling these up actually before the ones you've put outside?
yeah, but the ones outside are also, the plants are going over now, so I presume they're ready as well. Might be worth having a little rummage around.
We'll have a quick look at those as well. What, are they the same type as these?
Yeah, all I've got this year is Charlotte's and Rocket.
Is Charlotte a first early? Because I know that a Rocket is a first early.
I don't know. I know they're a salad potato, but that's about all I can tell you.
Because July is now the time to start putting your potatoes in for the Christmas period.
Really?
So if you put potatoes into a bag, especially the indoors, like to do it like this, so
right.
you just put a few potatoes in, and then Christmas Day you can come down and harvest them.
So could I, now I've grown potatoes in this soil, could I grow more potatoes in the same soil?
I would do Christmas potatoes, and then maybe
in the same soil as I've grown.
Yeah, and then
Really?
maybe for next year, then put something else in here.
Right. Okay. So I don't need to take your hand off there.
But for Christmas potatoes, a lot of the companies will try and get you to buy potatoes that they call these especially for Christmas.
Right.
But a Christmas potato is actually a first early potato.
Really?
It's just a Christmas potato costs a bit more money.
Okay.
So just get some first earlies, or if you've got some spare potato seeds, just put them in. Maybe you forgot to put some in.
I've never grown potato from seed.
No, do you know the potato when you put in?
Right. Oh, the seed. Oh, sorry, the seed potato.
The seed
yes.
potato.
Sorry,
Yes.
I'm thinking of little seeds.
I think it takes about 7 years to do it from
good
actual
grief.
seed.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. That's going to be enough
Okay.
for these gizmos here. Now, so I'm quite happy to have different levels inside these paddling pools, so that obviously where you don't need soil, like if you're growing lettuce or something, and you obviously don't need huge deep loss names, and it sort of it saves on the cost.
And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. What's the point in spending hundreds of pounds when it's cheaper to go and buy them in the shops?
Exactly.
So when you get these, you put these into the water. So that's where the roots come from.
Right. Okay.
And then to plant them, you just do a hole, just pop them in, and then cover it over, and then give it a good soak.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
And then they'll grow up to about that tall, and then you get some. I think it's pink flowers. I'm not entirely sure.
Right.
On top.
So then you'll end up with sweet potatoes.
So it's exactly the same as potatoes. So then you lift them up, and all the potatoes will be at the bottom.
Excellent.
In fact, that's a tidy space, that is, as they say in Wales. Tidy.
Let's get the watering can. Here it is. And it's full of water.
But they do like it hot, so this is perfect.
I've never actually seen these for sale, actually. Did you know where these came from?
What, the actual slips?
Yeah.
I had slips from Sutton Seeds.
Right, okay.
But you can actually buy them in the shops. But don't put them in, because some people, especially out in the States, put a sweet potato and they put a skewer through it,
right,
and then put it into the water, and then they sort of create their own. But I'd always say buy them.
It sounds like less faffing around.
Yeah,
because it's important to remember the faff scale.
It is, and I think this is faff number.
This is
number 1.
This is a faff 1 or 2. Yeah, absolutely fine. So what else are we going to put in this bed then? Because you bought me some bits here.
What else have we got?
I suppose I could put them all in there, couldn't I? Let's have a look. So we've got.
That's a goji berry.
Goji berry. Now, goji berries. Tell me about goji berries. Where's the best place to plant those?
Goji berries is a super fruit.
Yes.
And you won't get anything on here until next year.
So they grow quite fast, do you think?
It grows up to about that. It grows up to about that tall.
Okay.
Like a small bush.
Do you think it would be okay in this depth of soil, or should I get a bit more in there? Because I'm thinking, I presume it'll do okay in the polytunnel here, or does it need the cold? Because goji berries aren't they like a like rainforesty area plant originally?
Yes, but if you look at the weather that we've had over the last few years, that's like a rainforest.
That's true.
So I'd put it in the corner.
They don't have the cold though, do they?
I'd put it in the corner there and just hope.
Okay, I'll tell you what, let me shovel a
Because to be honest, I haven't got a clue.
Let me put a bit more soil there just to give it a little bit of depth.
And if these die over the next few weeks, I won't be offended. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
There you go. Do you want a potato?
Oh, another one. There you go. How about there?
That's
plant him there. And that's a goji berry. So I actually wanted goji berries, and I'd never got round to getting one.
It's one of the in foods at the moment.
I've tried goji berries. They're little red ones, aren't they?
Have you tried them?
Little red sultanas. Very, very nice. And yeah, they are. They're supposed to be like a really healthy food.
And then these are tomatillos.
See, I've never even heard that name before.
Which, again, like the tomato, goes up to the same sort of height.
Right.
I don't know what you do with the actual...
Is that two of them there?
Fruit. Yes, there might be, because I didn't bother to thin them out.
Let's put those at the back. So there's plenty of growing room here. There's not... Is there... I'm just trying to think, there's not a huge amount you can plant at this time of year. It should already be in, shouldn't it now?
If you want to eat stuff in the summer, they should be in now. But July is that point where you need to start planning for the winter. June is a bit too early, and August, September is a bit too late.
Sorry.
July is that period where you put your plants in to give so that they're established by the time the winter comes. Because the things you grow during the winter are usually the leaf sort of based.
Right. Okay.
Because it's so cold, the plant can't produce big things, so it's far more easier for plants to produce the leaves like kale and although there is a carrot that you can get now which you can actually harvest during the winter.
Right. Okay.
Which I'm going to be trying this year. In fact, I may sow that this weekend. So
so that'll be in your future video.
Keep an eye on the video. And then this one, I've got no idea what this is called. I can't remember. Something arrow.
Do you want to go there?
So we'll put it there. Although it does look a bit like, what do you call it?
Sweet corn?
No, a canna.
No,
do you know that?
Lost me on that one.
So just pop that in there and then just hope for the best.
Okay, that's brilliant.
I'll actually send you the name of that. So
that'll be good. I'll get a label on it then.
Yeah.
As well.
And then get a bit of water and then that's it.
Be curious to see how these do. Excellent. Yeah, they're tomatoes.
Now some of your tomatoes you haven't taken the side shoots out.
Okay.
And what's happened is they are now becoming sort of like bushes
proper
by
branches.
themselves.
Yeah.
Now you can take that out if you want to, but you can leave it on because it's sort of a bit too big now.
I was going to say it's got fruit on both of them now, isn't it?
Because if you don't take the side shoots out, that's perfectly fine. But then you have a lot of tomatoes, but they may be smaller.
Right. Okay.
Because the strength is going into several different places rather than on the cordon. The method that everybody does, where they just have the one stem
just
going
the one
up,
single stem,
and then all the goodness goes in.
Right.
But you can, they'll be okay.
Well, this is sort of an experiment at the moment. In fact, this is the first time I've noticed the plants in this bed are growing bigger than the plants in this bed, but these ones I stripped. It's really hard to do this with the camera in one hand and mic in the other. But these ones I actually stripped all of the leaves off and planted them on their side.
Oh, these are the ones.
These are the ones, and these ones, which were planted about 2 weeks earlier, were just planted normally. Dug a little hole, plonked them in. But these ones are starting to, you can see the heights here, starting to go much stronger than these ones.
Yeah, I haven't seen that sort of fruit technique before, where you put things on the side.
Well, it's something I stumbled across this year. I think it was I think it might have been Praxis, actually. His video, he was talking about planting tomatoes on their side. And then any of the bits below the ground, because it's a vine, they actually become roots, and you end up with a stronger
grow them
plant.
upside down as well.
Tried that.
Some people
a couple of years ago. Didn't do too well, to be honest, because they were coming out and then they were trying to curve back up.
In Australia. If people come here now, they'll want to take all the grapes home.
I think this is the first time you guys have seen the grapes since my last video, which was about 2 weeks ago. and as you can see, they're fattening up beautifully. And I still think I've probably got too many on, but I don't really want to thin them out anymore. I just want to leave them to grow and see what happens. But they just look really kind of cool.
Although you've got them on this vine, but you haven't got any on the other one.
No, I've got a few, but they're hidden away. There's some in there.
So what you could do is on this vine, you could thin them out and then do a bit of a comparison.
A bit of a comparison, that's possible. Although I must admit, on this vine, some of the leaves have got these kind of brown.
Like mosaic.
I'm not quite sure what that is.
It just depends what you want, whether you want a nice bunch of grapes with fat grapes or whether you want a lot of small grapes.
I'll have to do a comparison. Oh, there's certainly much less grapes on this vine. I think there's only about 5 bunches there, whereas this one's probably got about close to 15. But I'll tell you what, let's have a quick look at these are the my champion prize carrots, and they seem to be doing quite well, don't they?
Good. Shall I just very carefully?
Yeah, have a little peek, see what you... Oh!
Look at that there.
That's a proper carrot in there.
Was that the one you bought from Tesco's this morning and put in there?
Shh!
Have you seen that Dan hasn't shown his carrots for a while?
No, I haven't noticed.
You might be ahead of the competition, maybe, because I know all his, unfortunately, all his prize onions went to seed last week.
Oh no,
So
really?
he's had a bit of a disaster. So
Oh, that's...
I think he's putting all his eggs into his carrot basket now.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I haven't actually caught up on all my subscriber videos for about 2 weeks now. It's been mental lately. But one of the experiments I did do was I wanted to see how little soil I could get away with growing a tomato plant in. So what I've done is, in this bucket, I've literally got about, I don't know, 3-4 inches of soil on the ground, and it seems to be doing quite well. It's looking very happy. I can't see any...
Well, if you think about the grow bags, they've only got a few inches of soil.
That's the thinking I had going on.
Although from my experience, I am quite good with peppers. But what I do is I tend to put the grow bag... Let me just get a grow bag. What I tend to do is I turn the grow bag on its side that way. And then I just push all the soil down there. And then... like that.
Right.
And then you cut that and then just peel the thing back.
So you've got a nice deep place to grow things.
Yeah, and I found when you take the pepper out, even though the roots are only about that deep,
right,
the really thin roots go all the way down to the bottom. I do get the biggest peppers on the plot. So I'm not sure if that is
well, I'll tell you what
tip that I've discovered by
I'll tell you what
accident.
You know my bamboo thing out here?
Your house of bamboo.
Right, basically I've been growing some what are they? Runner beans.
Welcome to Tenko.
I've been growing runner beans to actually grow up these. Now the runner beans are really ready for planting. I think we should do those today.
Come on, then.
And what we've got here is, okay, there's the runner beans, but what we can do is actually, try out the grow bag technique with some of them.
All right, and so put some inside and outside.
Yeah,
What's
and
the variety?
because I've got some pots as well to go in, and what I was going to use was the soil from the grow bags, and put them into the pots, and then grow these are. Sorry, I've written them down.
Stardust.
Stardust, yes.
Oh, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, I think they come from Marshalls. I think they were advertising them. And
Firestorm.
And
Firestorm is a good one if depending whatever the weather is, because they sort of what's the word, self-pollinate.
Right. Yeah.
And I knew somebody that grew them about 2 years ago, and actually they got to the point where they were sick of seeing them. They just couldn't.
Really?
They just.
I've got a feeling I'm going to have that problem with the runner beans I got out there. I've got 2 rows of them.
Shall we put Firestorm indoors?
Well, I think they're all destined to go out around
Right.
around the bamboo.
But shall we keep those 3 for the indoor test that you want to do then?
What indoor test was that?
You were going to put some into the grow bag.
Oh yeah, no. I was going to put the grow bag outside.
Oh right.
If you see what I mean.
Okay.
Right. I tell you what. I'm going to go and see if I can rig up a system where I can put the camera and the microphone on a tripod, so I can actually get my hands back.
And once you've done that, I think it's time for the old kettle to be put on as well.
Yes. See you in a minute. Right, so Sean very kindly bought me a spare cooker. So, or it's a cooker that I can use on this table. I'm going to try it out now. I'm going to make a cup of tea. Outdoor cup of tea. Al fresco cup of tea. I've put this pallet up on the side just so that it's... put these away, doesn't hide everything. So hopefully that'll help shield the wind. So is that... Yeah, no, that's going to be fine. That's going to be fine. Right,
we're not dead yet.
The kettle's on. Let's build a little mini windshield there. Just to cover up the... What's his name? Oh, cups.
Cups. You just can't get the service in this canteen. This is what the British do. They have a cup of tea on a cold day out on a windy allotment. And a spoonful of honey makes the tea slide down.
So you're going to burst into somewhere.
You couldn't afford the rights.
I think what we have to do is... Yeah, you put... What I do is put the spoon in.
Let me test these biscuits you've got. Let me have a look.
Yeah. If you really want... Don't tell anyone. Got some pizza in the van if you want some.
I'll stick to the biscuits.
They're more healthy.
Have you thought about putting a garden on the roof of the van?
I thought you were going to say the shed.
I know people that do actually do the roofs, and I may have one. I'm not too sure yet. But no, you could put it on your van. You could a raised bed.
Wouldn't they get a bit wind damaged? It's 70 miles an hour down the motorway.
Carrots and turnips.
That could be really interesting, couldn't it? Unless you get the weed takeover. But do you think I've actually grown enough? I don't think I've grown enough runner beans to cover this whole area.
No.
I've probably got just enough to do the back and a bit of
But the
side.
thing is, you've got enough to get to that point that all gardeners get to, where I love the runner beans, and then a month later I can't stand the sight of them. So you've got enough, because you've already got 2 rows in.
I haven't actually counted the number of plants up there, but there's a lot.
Yes, I think you've certainly got enough beans for your market stall on the weekends.
Well, I had one row last year, which was about the width of this plot, and they were too much. Now I've got 2 rows, plus these.
Which will be too much.
I'm going to be popular with the neighbours, I think, because I should be giving them away.
Expect a lot of cooking videos with beans this fall.
I don't know what you can do with them apart from having with a Sunday dinner, in white sauce. They're nice in white sauce or onion sauce, or with onion sauce over them.
What I could do with a Sunday lunch?
You couldn't puree them because that would be disgusting.
You could salt them. But if anybody's got any ideas what we can do with them, put it in the comments section below. Now, I've made something up, which people believe me.
Okay.
But maybe the viewers can tell us the facts. In this country, these go anti-clockwise up a stick. So my theory is, in Australia, do they go clockwise? A bit like the water.
Never even occurred to me before, but that's actually quite interesting. Now,
Well,
that'll be really interesting to know.
A lot of people on our plot actually believe that.
Do you reckon it's any truth in it whatsoever? Actually,
Not sure. Maybe that's a question of the week.
I'll tell you what. In a minute, we'll go and have a look because the ones down there are doing quite well. We'll have a look, see which way, see whether they've all gone the same way.
Anti-clockwise. Yeah, you'll see that. And if they aren't, well, you won't see this part of the video.
Because I presume that stems from the bathwater one. But I don't even know if that's true or not.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, we did a documentary once for BBC Two where on one side of the road the water went down anti-clockwise. You crossed the road and it went the other way, and right in the middle the water just went down.
Really?
So what happens to the beans if you're on the equator? Do they just go straight up?
See, these are
questions that keep me awake at night.
These questions warrant a whole documentary series, don't they?
I'm sure I can get some funding from the BBC because they've funded far more crapper ideas than that. Right, we're going to drink this tea and we'll see you in a few moments. So then, let's have a look at these.
So we've got anti-clockwise,
Anti-clockwise.
anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise,
And there again.
anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise. They're all
I
anti-clockwise.
think there could be something in this theory.
If you're in the southern hemisphere, have a look at your runner beans. Although it's going to be winter for you, isn't
there
it?
now. So this might be a long experiment.
Okay, so yeah, if you're if you're in the southern hemisphere and you're watching this in the summer, have a look at your runner beans.
Where have you been is the first question.
Let us know in the notes whether your beans are going anti-clockwise or clockwise. In the northern hemisphere here, we've all got anti-clockwise.
And if you live on the equator, tell us what goes on there.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting too. Cheers.
I'm quite surprised there's a lot of spare plots down here. You've got quite a few, haven't you?
It's a bit of
You find that in some areas, like in Camden, it's a 25-year waiting list.
wow.
And then in other places, people aren't interested.
It's a bit of a contentious issue at the moment. I know locally here, I think it's all in a state of flux at the moment. There is talk or whisper of self-management, plot holders themselves.
The problem with that
managing
is you then get committees and then internal politics.
Yeah.
Do I like you more than I like you?
it. Yeah.
And it does go on.
Oh, I've seen it before. I've experienced it before, and it's something I don't want to get involved with. I'm definitely not a committee material.
Did you see that TV series about allotment wars?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I spoke to some of the guys that were in it, and one person said, I can't understand how they found out about the argument with me and whoever, Jim. I haven't spoken for 20 years. I couldn't find out how they found out about it. Well, it turned out the committee told the BBC.
Oh no.
And the night it was aired, the next night was the AGM. And I never found out how
Oh,
they...
that could have been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the problem is, I've experienced like the committee mindset before in other things that I've done in the past, and it can really turn nasty sometimes. You can really,
because you get some sites where everybody gets on, like our site, the majority of us get on with each other.
Yeah, we're like that here actually.
But then you get some sites where you go and ask somebody for a tip and they say, sod off, don't want to.
That's not right, is it?
But I find in England, people aren't really in the part that sort of I'm based, people aren't really into the growing for the show. Now, I don't mean put your potatoes in and deliberately do them for the show, but you do them for the house, and then you just put them into the village fair.
Right.
I find it's up in the north and in Wales, people are far more into that than in England. They're far more, no, let's just do it for the table and I don't get involved, type of thing.
Well, I must admit, when I first took on this whole allotment thing, I've seen other allotment sort of situations, and it's quite a little community got going on. I was sort of hoping that might be the same here, but it's not. I mean, everybody's friendly, but it's very rare that I actually see anybody else here. Because I suppose traditionally
they're probably afraid to come over and talk to you because they're thinking he's talking to himself again.
Oh yeah, they're like a crazy
in
crazy
the polytunnel.
But I think a lot of the time, like traditionally, allotment holders have generally been older folk who are generally retired and quite often was potter around all day.
Yeah.
So they'll, is that the same with your situation?
I found in the last few years, the women seem to be dominating our plots now.
And they're doing that out of just like a sense of needing to feed themselves, or is it just a hobby type
We tend to
thing?
go through periods where people will turn up, they'll take a plot on, then become pregnant. And then you go through this period where they'll try and do it, but then, a couple of months in, they sort of forget about it, and then they get a 28-day letter.
All right, yeah.
And then,
Yeah, because you've got to stay on top of it. That's one thing I've definitely learned.
Well, the thing is to do a small bit and to do it often. What do you think you have learnt that you wouldn't do again if you took on a second plot?
Rotivate.
Rotivate.
Well, number one, I wouldn't rotivate. That was a massive mistake.
'Cause I think the best thing you did here was put up the polytunnel.
I agree. That was a good decision.
And the worst decision was to get the rotavator out. Because I think your rotavator did about 2 or 3 times, didn't you?
I was doing it all the time at one point. But all I was doing was chopping up the rhizomes of the couch grass.
And you only need the tiniest bit, and then they all come out again.
Well, I almost walked away last year because of the weeds. And in the end, you just throw your hands up and say, you know, there's no way you can stay on top of it.
Because I know people want to be organic, but I do say it does help to spray in the first couple of months, just to give you that head start.
See, I'm worried about the old glyphosate. It's I've done some looking up on Google, done lots of research on it, and I know the claim is that the glyphosate just breaks down into harmless, substances that just fade away. But I've read quite a lot of suggestions to the contrary, and that this stuff is actually ending up getting in your food.
I was looking at one of my old videos last night. In July of last year, we had hailstones.
Really? Well, mind you, I suppose.
And it was it just rained.
It was the wettest summer on record, wasn't it, last year? Because I would say all the site here was all flooded. It was just very, very waterlogged, and the slugs were just biblical. The amount of slugs, it was just unbelievable.
Did you see the video? Dan put a video up last week
Nice. He joined.
That's the way to do it.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you again. Bye.
Did you see, talking about slugs, Dan put a video up the other day where he's put the wire along the raised beds.
Oh,
and
I haven't seen it yet. I saw it go up. I haven't watched it yet.
And he attached it to the square volt battery 12, is it? Like the really small ones?
The 9 volt, 53. Yeah.
And it seemed to stop them from going in. The only problem is you've got to make sure they're none in the bed to begin with. Otherwise, they can't get out.
Yeah.
Outdoor potatoes.
Yeah, we're going to have a little rummage around, and
I think these are done.
See, yeah, I think I agree with you there.
Now, did you put soil in these, or did you put soil from the garden?
This was dug out of the ground.
Right.
So this is literally from the ground.
So let's have a look at the crop.
A little look.
I'll just put the spoils over there.
Oop. Now, I've heard the best way to store potatoes is leave them in the ground or in peat. Anyway, we can put them in there, I think.
I prefer the stomach.
Well, I think if storage-wise, is to leave them in the ground until you're ready to use them.
Yes. Now, the old Victorians used to make a clamp, which was
that sand?
No, they used to put them all on top of each other, then cover them with hay, and then put soil on the hay.
Right. Okay.
But you had to put a chimney in as well, so just got some air to circulate it all.
Look, this is the soil is like absolutely solid.
It is, but look at these potatoes.
Oh, they're not too bad, are they? Or they've got a bit of a scab on them, but it's nothing too bad.
I think there's potato tea tonight, anyway.
Yeah. I'm going to get fat again. Let's have a look.
Now, I know Jonathan, who has got a channel, he uses his potatoes in order to put into cakes and things. So he uses potatoes as flour.
Oh, I see. Well, you like grinds them up.
Yeah.
So haven't they got to be dry for that? Because why don't they just sort of turn into a mash?
I'm not quite sure. He did something on our channel a couple of years ago where he just put them against what do you call those things in the kitchen? Like a scraper.
Right. Okay. Oh, there we go.
That's a nice one.
Well, it's a little bit disappointing. Or there's not a huge amount.
There's not a huge amount, but I think they're a bit bigger than the ones indoors. But you can tell how bad this
soil is rubbish, isn't it?
Did you put the rock dust with this?
I did, yes. Yeah, all of these got rock dust with them.
Maybe that's why the soil is so hard.
I don't know. It's not a huge amount.
Yeah, they can. We've just found gold, folks.
Yeah. Just found a seam. Oh, there's the old seed potato. Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people think that the potato grows from the seed potato, but they actually grow. So if that's the seed potato there, they grow on the stem. So,
Right.
they sort of come off the stem. That's why you've got to earth potatoes up.
That's it.
I think that's
Yeah.
plenty for
I can dig into there a bit later on when I want some.
for your tea.
Let me show you what we got here. So that's just, I've taken about, I don't know, that area, and that's what we got. It's not, I must admit I was expecting a little bit more.
Yeah, I think maybe the indoor ones are a bit.
The
bit
indoor
better.
ones I think did better. But there again, the soil was much better. This is just literally soil I've dug out from the ground. It's got stones and
Look at
everything.
the stones. The stones are far bigger than the potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So what are we doing now, Joe?
Okay, right. Basically I want to get these planted because they're ready to go in the pots. I've got a few pots there. I've got one round here as well. And these are going to be basically sit around the base of this bamboo structure, and hopefully these are going to start growing up the bamboo.
Compost.
Need some mud, didn't we? Let's see what we got. What do you reckon, grow bag or?
Yeah, let's try one of the grow bags, because then if it works, you can then do it in the greenhouse if people haven't got space or, you know.
Okay. So, and now you're not going to be able to grow them in the grow bags because you're not going to get the depth, because these need deep roots, don't they? I think.
So let's pop some of that in here.
Okay, let's split it open.
I'd be interested to find out if anybody is growing them on a patio, or you know, who lives in a high rise or something like that.
What, running beans?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to think. When I did my container gardening for food website, I basically turned my little back garden into this growing Eden, and I grew these in pots,
Right.
up canes and that, and they did quite well. But I had to keep feeding them.
That's the thing. If you've got things in pots, you really need to feed things a bit more often, and also you need to keep an eye on things when what am I on about? The rain.
Of course,
Water
yeah.
things.
Oops.
Because at least with the polytunnel, it waters itself.
Well, there's always humid in there, so the plants at least are getting some moisture out of the air, if not out the ground.
Have you found over the last few years the compost has been quite bad?
Well, I tell you what, I don't know if I should mention names, but the stuff I got from the other week was awful stuff. It's really fibrous. It's basically like they must have mulched down fiberboard or something.
I've been quite surprised with how many bags have plastic in.
Oh really? I can't say I've come across plastic in them.
I'll send you
Yet.
a few bags.
Oh.
Look at the roots on them.
Oh, that's pretty good, aren't they? That's quite moist. I've kept those quite moist.
Yes. Smell that.
Oh, it's a bit rank. Well, just got green.
Give them a smell.
Bit of moss, yeah, have a whiff of that. Oh. Never mind, they'll be fine in there. What do you reckon, 2 plants?
No, 3, I think.
You reckon 3?
Yeah.
They'll be able to spread out.
Oh, yes, because you want them to go up there. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do 2.
Yeah, do 2, and let's have that little
Now, do you know
chambery one here.
there's a flower called the shoo plant,
No.
where if you put it in, say the greenhouse or something, it will actually stop black fly, and I think white fly as well.
All right.
That's why it's called shoo.
Shoo.
Yeah. I tried it a few years ago. I don't know where they go, but they just go. Do you know, I've just had a thought. You should have put the pots in when you were putting the sticks in.
Sorry?
You should have put the pots in when you were putting the sticks in, because the stick could have gone straight down the pot.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. I'm not clever enough to think of things
year.
like that.
Next year.
I've got a long pot here. I reckon we could do all right. Although the problem is the size of the pot. Won't that determine the size of the plant? Although runner beans tend to just go for it anyway, don't they?
Although if that's the only pot you've got, that's the only pot you...
Let's go with it somehow.
So this is one of those, the watering ones.
Self-watering one, but actually we don't need the self-watering bit in it. Or do we?
No, let's leave it in.
Leave it in, okay.
And we can run a test.
Okay.
What pots
I'll tell you what,
not to put them in.
this grow bag's stretching quite far.
It is.
That's a cheap way to buy soil. Although gone are the days when you get grow bags for 99p.
How much are they now?
I think it's about 250.
There
A
you
lot
go.
in there. That's it. Let me move the camera up. Right, so we've got a runner bean plant there. Let's get this nice long. I've got had my eye on this really nice long runner bean here. What do you reckon? 2 or 3? Oh, look at that.
3 in there, I think.
Yeah, root ball.
What do you think about pellets?
What were you talking about? Feed or slug?
Slug pellets.
Slug pellets. When I first started, I was determined I wasn't going to use any kind of herbicides, pesticides or anything, and my mate in Ireland said you'll be using slug pellets within a month, and he was right.
Now, just a quick little side note. If you turn this clockwise, within a week or 2 it will turn itself back to anti-clockwise.
I suppose it would, wouldn't it? If all those other ones were going anti-clockwise, then yeah. What do you reckon? Third one?
Yeah.
Or 2? Yeah.
Put a 3rd one in there. Hey, look at the root system on that.
They're pretty healthy.
Beautiful.
I'm quite impressed. So hopefully, I need to move these chairs. Hopefully, things are going to get interesting.
Although even doing this should have been done the first week in June. It's like,
Really?
that's how far behind we are.
Yeah, I think you're right the first time. And then we move that one up a little bit. Maybe.
There you go.
1, 2, 3.
Do you want to change the shot? I just not quite sure what happened there.
Drunk again. All right, let's move this back here. Yeah, you're right.
So I'll come back in September to crop them.
Oh yes, I think I'll be fed up with beans by then. Well, hopefully I'll be fed up with beans by then.
What you could do is, if you have too many beans, have everybody to put their name in the comments box, and then you just pick one, and then they can send you the address, and you send them beans.
A life supply by the looks of it.
There you go.
Grand. Okay, let's put that here. Well, of course, these aren't going to do particularly well because this is the shady area. But I think I might have to cut in more bits of bamboo, but I think we'll be alright. You know what? I think we're going to have enough.
Yeah, just about.
There you go. Hang on. Let me just double check. I haven't got another pot.
Unless you want to, let's just put them in the bag.
Of course, yeah, we were going to do that with that bag, weren't we? Or that bag will be fine. I need to clear this bag.
Press it down. Right, how many you thinking of?
What do you reckon? Couple? It's not a huge amount of surface area.
What's going on here?
Oh, I think the roots are all bound together. So.
Well, there's one.
Okay, I've done it.
There
okay.
you go.
We can just put the bag down. I think. Don't need the container.
No, just there you go.
That'll have to be down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon. Just lean against the side there. Right, so the last of the runner beans is I've decided to put into this pot, and we're going to ground up the corner here. I'll get some strings sorted out.
Some strings and attach them.
Or maybe a net. I've got a little bit of net I can put up. But obviously they need a little while to grow. Is that how many is there? Is it
4, I think. 5.
4? Oh, they're all bunched together. That'll be alright. We'll see how they get on. Superb. Okay. So it's been quite a productive day.
It has.
We've done all right. We've got our
The runner beans.
up. We've got the potatoes harvested. Had some strawberries earlier.
And we planted some plants that I brought up.
Those special. You're gonna have to send me an email
I
with
will.
the labels so I can label them up because I can't
And
remember
don't
what
be
they're
afraid to be on film in a few weeks going, they're dead.
called. I'm sure they'll be fine. So anyway, great to meet you, Sean.
That's fine, yeah.
And I'm sure you'll have a bit of video footage.
Back to Crystal Palace now to film my next episode, which you've probably seen by now.
Quite possibly.
It does get a bit confusing when you
I was
start.
going to say, it depends when you put yours up.
Because I'm going to edit mine when I go back now.
But obviously, if you haven't already subscribed to Sean's channel, do feel free to wander over. I'll put a link below.
The Hort Channel TV.
The Hort Channel TV. I always want to say horticultural channel.
It was horticultural, but a lot of people said to me that they couldn't spell horticultural. So I then changed it to the Hort Channel TV.
The Hort Channel TV. I'll get it right one day. Anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great rest of the day. And we'll see you in the next video.
Catch you next time.